When people hear the words Social Security, most think about a monthly retirement check that starts sometime after they stop working. For many Americans, that check feels predictable, fixed, and maybe even a little disappointing. But what if I told you that inside the Social Security system there are benefits, strategies, and lesser-known opportunities that many people overlook? In today's video, we're talking about hidden money in Social Security and benefits many Americans don't know about. This video is for educational purposes, and the goal is simple: to help you better understand how the system works so you can make smarter decisions about your financial future. Imagine this for a moment. Two people work the same number of years, earn similar incomes, and both qualify for Social Security. Yet when they retire, one of them receives significantly more money over their lifetime than the other. How is that possible? The difference often comes down to knowledge. Social Security rules are complicated, and many people simply claim benefits as soon as they can, without understanding the long-term impact. That's why learning about these hidden opportunities can make a real difference. Let's start with something many people don't fully realize. Social Security retirement benefits can begin as early as age 62. Because of this, a lot of Americans assume that claiming at 62 is the normal or even the best option. But here's the catch. Claiming early permanently reduces your monthly benefit. In many cases, that reduction can be as much as about 30% compared to waiting until your full retirement age. Now think about what that means over time. If someone qualifies for a benefit of $2,000 per month at full retirement age but decides to claim at 62, that payment might drop to around $1,400. That difference might not seem massive in 1 month, but over 20 or 25 years of retirement, it could add up to tens of thousands of dollars. This is one of the first hidden aspects of Social Security. Waiting longer to claim can dramatically increase the total money you receive. And it doesn't stop there. If you delay claiming benefits past your full retirement age, your monthly benefit can continue growing until age 70 through what are called delayed retirement credits. These credits increase your benefit by roughly 8% per year. In other words, someone who waits until age 70 could receive significantly more each month compared to someone who claims earlier. For some retirees, that strategy alone can mean hundreds of extra dollars every month. Another area many Americans overlook involves spousal benefits. Social Security isn't just about your own work history. If you're married, your spouse may also be eligible to receive benefits based on your record. In fact, a spouse can potentially receive up to 50% of the higher earner's benefit once both partners reach the appropriate age. This can be especially important for couples where one partner earns significantly more than the other. Maybe one spouse worked part-time, took time off to raise children, or had a lower-paying career. Even if their own Social Security benefit is smaller, they may be able to claim a larger spousal benefit instead. Many people miss this opportunity simply because they don't realize they qualify. Here's another interesting situation. Some people believe that if they didn't work enough years to qualify for Social Security on their own, they won't receive any benefits at all. But that isn't always true. Through spousal benefits, a person who has little or no work history may still be able to receive monthly payments based on their partner's record. That can become a crucial source of income during retirement. Let's talk about another hidden piece of the system that many Americans don't realize exists. Social Security also includes survivor benefits. These benefits are designed to support family members if a worker passes away. For example, if a married worker who paid into Social Security dies, their spouse may be eligible to receive survivor benefits based on that worker's earnings record. In some cases, the surviving spouse can receive an amount close to what the deceased worker was receiving, or even what they were entitled to receive. This can provide a critical financial safety net. Many families assume Social Security only helps the individual who worked, but in reality, the program was built to protect families as well. There's another detail that often surprises people. Survivor benefits can sometimes begin earlier than standard retirement benefits. Depending on the situation, a surviving spouse may qualify in their early 60s, and in certain circumstances, even earlier if children are involved. Understanding this rule can help families make more informed decisions during very difficult times. Now let's shift to something else that doesn't get talked about enough. Social Security benefits aren't automatically maximized just because you worked for many years. The amount you receive is based on your highest 35 years of earnings. If you worked fewer than 35 years, Social Security actually fills the missing years with zeros when calculating your benefit. Think about what that means. If someone worked only 25 years, 10 years of zeros could be pulling down their average earnings calculation. But if that person continues working and replaces some of those 0 years with actual income, their future benefit could increase. Even a few extra working years later in life can sometimes raise a Social Security payment more than people expect. Another little-known factor involves checking your earnings record. Social Security calculates your benefits using the income reported under your Social Security number throughout your career. But mistakes can happen. Sometimes income might be recorded incorrectly, or certain years might be missing. If those errors go unnoticed, they could reduce your future benefit. That's why it's important to review your Social Security earnings record periodically. Catching a mistake early and correcting it could potentially increase your retirement benefit later on. It's one of the simplest ways to protect your future income. There's also an important point about taxes that many retirees don't fully understand. While Social Security provides financial support, benefits can sometimes be partially taxable depending on your total income. For some retirees, managing withdrawals from retirement accounts or adjusting their income sources could help reduce the amount of Social Security that becomes taxable. This is another area where education matters. By understanding how Social Security interacts with other retirement income, people can sometimes keep more of the money they receive. It's not about avoiding the system, but about learning how different pieces of the financial puzzle work together. At the same time, it's important to remember that Social Security was never designed to be the only source of retirement income. The program was created to replace a portion of a worker's earnings, not the entire amount. That's why understanding these hidden benefits and strategies can be so valuable. When used wisely, Social Security can become a stronger foundation for financial stability during retirement. For millions of Americans, these monthly payments help cover essential expenses, like housing, food, and healthcare. Even small adjustments in how and when benefits are claimed can have a long-term impact. That's why taking time to learn about these options can be one of the most important financial steps someone makes before retirement. And here's something interesting to think about. Many people spend decades working and contributing to Social Security through payroll taxes, yet they never fully explore how the system works before claiming their benefits. It's a bit like spending years paying into a program without ever reading the instruction manual. But once you start learning the rules, you begin to see opportunities that were hidden before. Some of those opportunities involve timing, others involve family benefits, and some involve simply understanding the formulas behind the system. The key message here is that Social Security isn't just a fixed payment that appears when you reach retirement age. It's a complex program with many moving parts, and knowing how those parts fit together can help people make more confident decisions about their future. As we continue this discussion, we'll explore more surprising aspects of Social Security, including lesser-known benefits, strategies that retirees sometimes miss, and important details that could influence how much money someone receives over time. The goal isn't to overwhelm you with rules, but to make the system easier to understand so you can see where those hidden opportunities might exist. If you're still watching, here's something important to remember. Social Security is not just a retirement program. Many people think it only helps people after they stop working, but the truth is that Social Security is much broader than that. It also includes disability benefits and certain family benefits that can provide financial support during difficult situations. These parts of the system are often overlooked, which is why many Americans never realize that they might qualify for help long before retirement. Let's talk about disability benefits for a moment. Social Security Disability Insurance, often called SSDI, is designed to help workers who develop a serious medical condition that prevents them from continuing to work. If someone has paid into Social Security through payroll taxes and later becomes disabled, they may be eligible to receive monthly benefits. These payments are based on the worker's earnings history, just like retirement benefits. Many people assume that disability benefits are extremely rare or impossible to qualify for, but millions of Americans rely on them every year. The key requirement is that the medical condition must significantly limit the person's ability to work and is expected to last at least a year or result in death. If approved, disability benefits can provide monthly income and eventually access to healthcare coverage through Medicare after a waiting period. What many people don't realize is that disability benefits are essentially another hidden layer of Social Security protection. When you pay Social Security taxes while working, you're not only contributing toward retirement benefits, you're also contributing toward disability protection. In other words, the system is designed to provide financial support not just when you're older, but also if life takes an unexpected turn. Another area of hidden benefits involves family members of disabled workers. If a person qualifies for disability benefits, certain family members may also be eligible for payments. For example, dependent children and sometimes spouses may receive additional benefits based on the disabled worker's record. This can provide important financial stability for households that suddenly lose income because of health issues. Now let's shift to another interesting detail that many Americans overlook. Social Security benefits can sometimes be adjusted based on cost of living increases. These adjustments are known as COLA, or cost of living adjustments. They are designed to help benefits keep up with inflation over time. When the cost of goods and services rises, Social Security payments may increase to help maintain purchasing power. This is a critical feature because retirement can last decades. Imagine retiring at age 65 and living well into your 80s or even 90s. Over that time, the cost of everyday necessities like groceries, utilities, and healthcare may rise significantly. Cost of living adjustments help ensure that Social Security benefits don't remain frozen while expenses continue to increase. However, not everyone fully understands how these adjustments work. COLA increases are based on changes in inflation measurements. Some years the increase may be larger, and in other years it may be smaller. But over time, these adjustments can add thousands of dollars to the total benefits someone receives during retirement. Another hidden opportunity within Social Security involves continuing to work after you begin receiving benefits. Some people believe that once they start claiming Social Security, they must completely stop working. But that isn't necessarily true. Many retirees continue working part-time or even full-time, depending on their circumstances. There is an important rule to understand here. If you claim Social Security before reaching your full retirement age and continue working, there may be an earnings limit. If your income exceeds that limit, some of your benefits may be temporarily withheld. But here's the part that many people misunderstand. The withheld benefits are not permanently lost. Once you reach full retirement age, Social Security recalculates your benefit and credits back the months when benefits were withheld due to excess earnings. In simple terms, the system adjusts your future payments to reflect that you didn't receive benefits during those months. This means that continuing to work may not hurt you as much as some people fear. In fact, working longer can sometimes increase your future benefits. Remember earlier when we talked about the 3-5-year earnings calculation? If you continue working and your new earnings are higher than some of your earlier years, those higher earnings may replace lower ones in the calculation. This could raise your average earnings and slightly increase your monthly benefit. Let's also talk about something that surprises many people when they learn about it: Social Security benefits for divorced individuals. Yes, even after a divorce, a person may still be eligible to receive benefits based on their former spouse's work record under certain conditions. For example, if the marriage lasted at least 10 years, and the individual has not remarried before a certain age, they may qualify for benefits based on their ex-spouse's record. These benefits do not reduce or affect the ex-spouse's payments. In many cases, the ex-spouse may never even know the benefit is being claimed. This rule was created to help protect individuals who may have spent years contributing to a household, raising children, or supporting a partner's career. Even though the marriage ended, the Social Security system recognizes that those years still matter. For some retirees, this can become an unexpected but valuable source of income. Another hidden detail within Social Security involves something called retroactive benefits. In certain situations, people who delay applying for Social Security after reaching full retirement age may be able to receive a lump sum payment covering up to 6 months of benefits. This option isn't always the best choice, but it's something that many people don't realize exists. For example, someone who waited beyond full retirement age to apply might request retroactive benefits and receive several months of payments at once. However, choosing this option may reduce the future monthly benefit slightly because the claim is treated as if it started earlier. That's why it's important to understand both the advantages and the trade-offs before making a decision. Now let's consider another aspect that many Americans find surprising. Social Security benefits are not the same for everyone. The formula used to calculate benefits is progressive, meaning it replaces a higher percentage of income for lower earners compared to higher earners. This structure is designed to provide stronger financial support for workers with lower lifetime earnings. For example, someone with modest earnings throughout their career may receive a Social Security benefit that replaces a relatively large portion of their previous income. On the other hand, higher earners typically receive benefits that replace a smaller percentage of their former salary. Understanding this structure can help people plan their retirement savings more effectively. There's also something else worth mentioning. Social Security benefits can change over time due to policy adjustments made by lawmakers. While the core system has remained in place for decades, there have been updates and reforms over the years. These changes sometimes affect the retirement age, tax limits, or benefit calculations. That's why staying informed is important. The rules you hear about today might evolve in the future. Keeping up with reliable information can help you make smarter financial decisions as retirement approaches. Another important piece of the puzzle involves healthcare. While Social Security itself is separate from healthcare programs, many retirees rely on Medicare once they reach age 65. For a large number of Americans, Social Security benefits help cover the premiums, deductibles, and other healthcare-related costs that arise during retirement. Healthcare expenses are one of the biggest financial concerns for retirees. By understanding how Social Security income fits into the broader retirement picture, individuals can better prepare for these future costs. Even small adjustments in benefit timing or income planning could make a noticeable difference over time. And here's something worth reflecting on. Many of these hidden benefits exist because Social Security was designed not just as a retirement payment, but as a social insurance program. The system aims to protect workers and families from financial hardship caused by aging, disability, or the loss of a breadwinner. But despite how important the program is, a surprising number of Americans claim benefits without fully understanding their options. Sometimes it's because the rules seem complicated. Other times it's simply because people assume the benefit is fixed and there's nothing to think about. In reality, a little knowledge can go a long way. By learning about disability benefits, family protections, spousal and divorce benefits, and the impact of continued work, people begin to see that Social Security is more flexible than it first appears. Hidden opportunities may exist depending on individual circumstances, work, history, and family situations. As we continue in the next part of this discussion, we'll explore even more surprising details about Social Security, including lesser-known payment rules, factors that can increase or decrease benefits, and additional insights that many Americans discover only after it's too late to change their strategy. Understanding these details can help turn a confusing system into a powerful financial tool for the future. As we continue exploring the idea of hidden money in Social Security, it becomes even clearer that many of the most important details are often overlooked. The system seems simple on the surface. You work, you pay taxes, and eventually you receive benefits. But behind that simple idea are many rules that can quietly influence how much money someone actually receives over time. One of those rules involves something called the Social Security earnings cap. Many workers don't realize that there is a limit to how much income is subject to Social Security tax each year. Once a person's earnings reach that cap, additional income above that amount is not taxed for Social Security purposes. This rule affects how contributions are calculated, and it can also influence how benefits are determined later in life. But here's where the hidden opportunity appears. Even though high earners may stop paying Social Security taxes on income above the cap in a given year, their benefits are still calculated based on the highest 35 years of taxable earnings. For someone who consistently earns near the maximum taxable amount, those years can result in a much larger benefit than average. Understanding how these limits work helps explain why benefits vary so widely from person to person. Another surprising factor involves how Social Security calculates your benefit using something called indexed earnings. Instead of simply averaging the raw dollar amounts you earned decades ago, the system adjusts past earnings to reflect changes in national wage levels. This process is known as wage indexing. Why does this matter? Because it helps ensure that earnings from earlier in your career are measured fairly compared to modern wages. For example, someone who earned $20,000 per year in the 1980s might have been earning a solid middle-class income at the time. Wage indexing adjusts that amount to reflect today's economic reality when calculating benefits. Without this adjustment, older earnings would appear much smaller than they actually were in real terms. For many workers, this indexing process quietly increases the value of their earlier contributions. It's another example of how the Social Security formula works behind the scenes to balance fairness across different generations of workers. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: the importance of timing when claiming benefits as a couple. For married households, Social Security decisions often work best when both partners coordinate their claiming strategies. Yet many couples make these decisions independently without realizing how one person's timing can affect the other. For example, if one spouse earned significantly more during their career, delaying benefits could result in a larger monthly payment, not only for that person, but potentially for the surviving spouse later on. Remember, survivor benefits are often based on the higher earner's benefit. That means delaying benefits could increase the financial protection available to the surviving partner in the future. This is one reason financial planners often encourage couples to look at Social Security as a joint decision rather than two separate ones. The strategy that produces the most lifetime income may involve one spouse claiming earlier while the other waits longer. Every situation is different, but understanding this concept can open the door to better planning. Another lesser-known rule involves what happens if someone changes their mind after claiming Social Security. Believe it or not, under certain circumstances it may be possible to withdraw your application for benefits. If this happens within a specific time period and the benefits already received are repaid, the claim can essentially be reset. This option allows someone to restart the process later, potentially at a higher monthly benefit. While this strategy isn't common and doesn't work for everyone, it's another example of a rule many people never hear about. Sometimes individuals claim benefits early, later realize it may not have been the best decision, and wonder if anything can be done. In certain cases, there may still be options. There's also an interesting situation involving people who worked in government jobs that did not pay into Social Security. Some public sector employees, such as certain teachers, firefighters, or government workers, may have pensions from jobs where Social Security taxes were not deducted from their paychecks. Because of this, special rules called the Windfall Elimination Provision and the Government Pension Offset can affect how Social Security benefits are calculated. These rules can sometimes reduce benefits in certain situations. However, the details can be complicated, and not every public employee is affected in the same way. The key takeaway here is awareness. Many workers assume their pension and Social Security benefits will combine exactly as expected, only to later discover that special rules apply. Understanding these provisions early can help people plan more effectively for retirement income. Now let's discuss another factor that can quietly affect Social Security benefits over time: inflation and purchasing power. While cost of living adjustments help benefits keep up with rising prices, inflation can still influence how far retirement income stretches in the future. Consider someone retiring today and planning for the next 25 or 30 years. Even modest inflation can gradually increase the cost of everyday items like food, utilities, transportation, and medical care. Over long periods, these increases can significantly affect a retiree's budget. This is why Social Security's inflation adjustments are so important. Each year that benefits increase due to cost of living adjustments, retirees receive slightly larger payments. Over a long retirement, these increases can add up to substantial additional income. Another interesting aspect of Social Security involves something many people never think about until it happens. What if someone continues working while already receiving benefits and later earns more than they did earlier in their career? In that situation, Social Security may automatically recalculate the benefit. Because benefits are based on the highest 35 years of earnings, higher new earnings can replace lower previous years in the calculation. When that happens, the monthly benefit may increase. This adjustment happens automatically, which means retirees who continue working may see their payments gradually rise over time. Now let's consider another overlooked element: the psychological side of Social Security decisions. Money decisions are rarely based on numbers alone. Emotions, expectations, and personal experiences often play a role. Some people claim benefits early because they worry the system might change in the future. Others claim early because they want to enjoy retirement as soon as possible. Some delay benefits because they want the highest possible monthly income later in life. None of these choices are automatically right or wrong, but understanding the long-term impact of each option can help people make decisions they feel confident about. For example, someone with health concerns or a shorter life expectancy might reasonably decide to claim benefits earlier. On the other hand, someone who expects to live a long retirement may benefit from delaying benefits to receive larger payments later. The system allows for flexibility, but the best strategy often depends on individual circumstances. Another thing many Americans don't realize is how much Social Security contributes to financial security nationwide. For millions of retirees, it represents the largest or even the only steady source of income during retirement. According to national statistics, Social Security lifts a significant number of older adults out of poverty each year. This highlights the program's importance not just for individuals but for society as a whole. It acts as a financial foundation that supports retirees, people with disabilities, and surviving family members. Despite this, confusion about the system remains widespread. Surveys often show that many Americans misunderstand key rules about claiming age, spousal benefits, or how benefits are calculated. This lack of knowledge is one reason conversations like this are valuable. The more people learn about the system before retirement, the better prepared they may be to make informed decisions. At the end of the day, Social Security is more than just a monthly check. It's a system built over decades, designed to provide financial stability during life's later stages and unexpected challenges. Hidden within its rules are opportunities that can sometimes increase lifetime benefits, strengthen family protection, or provide support during difficult times. As we move into the final part of this discussion, we'll explore a few more surprising insights about Social Security, including common mistakes people make, practical ways to prepare before claiming benefits, and key lessons that could help Americans get the most value from the system they've contributed to for so many years. As we reach the final part of this discussion, it's important to step back and look at the bigger picture. Social Security is one of the most significant financial programs in the United States, and for many Americans it becomes a major source of income during retirement. Yet, despite its importance, many people approach it without fully understanding how the system works or how small decisions can affect their benefits over time. One of the most common mistakes people make is claiming benefits too quickly without considering their long-term needs. It's understandable why this happens. After decades of working and paying into the system, many people feel ready to start receiving something back as soon as possible, but the timing of that decision can have lasting consequences. Earlier in the video, we talked about how claiming benefits at age 62 can reduce monthly payments compared to waiting until full retirement age, or even later. The key thing to remember is that Social Security is designed to last for the rest of your life. That means a smaller monthly payment today could translate into significantly less income over the course of a long retirement. This doesn't mean early claiming is always wrong. Every situation is different. Health conditions, financial needs, job opportunities, and family responsibilities can all influence the best decision. The important part is making the choice with knowledge, rather than rushing into it without understanding the trade-offs. Another mistake many people make is assuming Social Security will automatically provide enough income to maintain the same lifestyle they had during their working years. In reality, the program was designed to replace only a portion of a worker's earnings. For most people, that means additional savings or retirement income sources are still necessary. This is where planning becomes essential. When people combine Social Security with personal savings, retirement accounts, pensions, or part-time work, they often create a much stronger financial foundation. The goal isn't to rely on a single source of income, but to build a balanced approach that supports long-term stability. There's also something else worth thinking about. Retirement today often looks very different from retirement several decades ago. People are living longer, healthcare costs have increased, and many individuals remain active well into their later years. Because of this, planning for a retirement that could last 25 or even 30 years is becoming more common. In that context, maximizing Social Security benefits can play an important role. Even a few $100 extra each month could make a noticeable difference when covering housing, groceries, insurance, or medical expenses. Over the course of many years, those additional payments could add up to tens of thousands of dollars. Another key lesson involves staying informed. Social Security rules can feel complicated, and many people only start researching them shortly before retirement. But learning about the system earlier can provide more flexibility. When people understand how their benefits are calculated, they can make decisions about work, savings, and retirement timing with clearer expectations. For example, knowing that benefits are based on the highest 35 years of earnings might encourage someone to work a few additional years if it could replace lower earning years in their record. Understanding how delayed retirement credits work might influence someone to wait longer before claiming benefits. These small adjustments can sometimes produce meaningful long-term results. It's also helpful to regularly review personal Social Security information. Checking your earnings history and estimated benefits can provide a clearer picture of what retirement income might look like. Many people are surprised when they see how their projected benefits change depending on the age they choose to claim. Another important idea to remember is that Social Security decisions are rarely one-size-fits-all. Two individuals with similar careers may still choose very different strategies based on their personal goals, health outlook, and financial situation. Some may value immediate income more, while others prioritize maximizing long-term benefits. What matters most is understanding the options available. When people learn about spousal benefits, survivor protections, disability coverage, cost of living adjustments, and the impact of claiming age, the system becomes much less mysterious. Instead of feeling like a fixed program with limited choices, it begins to look more like a financial tool that can be used strategically. And that brings us back to the main theme of this video. Hidden money in Social Security doesn't necessarily mean secret payments or unknown programs. More often, it means understanding the rules that influence how benefits are calculated and when they are claimed. Knowledge itself becomes the key that unlocks those hidden opportunities. Think about it this way. Millions of Americans contribute to Social Security throughout their working lives. Those contributions build the foundation for future benefits. But the final outcome can vary widely depending on how well someone understands the system before they begin claiming. By learning about these details in advance, people give themselves the chance to make more confident and informed decisions. That knowledge can help protect income during retirement and support financial stability for years to come. Another important perspective is that Social Security is not just about individuals. It's also about families. Spousal benefits, survivor benefits, and disability protections were built into the program to support households when unexpected events occur. These features remind us that the system was designed with long-term security in mind. Even though the rules can sometimes seem complex, the core idea behind Social Security is simple. It provides a safety net that supports workers and their families during retirement, disability, or the loss of a loved one. Understanding how that safety net works allows people to use it more effectively. As we wrap up this discussion, the most valuable takeaway may be this. Information is one of the most powerful financial tools available. Learning how Social Security works today can influence decisions that affect income decades into the future. If there's one message to remember from this video, it's that Social Security is more flexible and complex than many people realize. Hidden within its rules are opportunities that could increase lifetime benefits, strengthen financial protection for families, and provide greater peace of mind during retirement. The earlier people begin exploring these details, the more options they may have. Whether someone is many years away from retirement or already thinking about claiming benefits, taking the time to understand the system can make a meaningful difference. And while Social Security may not solve every financial challenge, it remains one of the most important pillars of retirement security in the United States. By approaching it with knowledge, awareness, and thoughtful planning, Americans can make the most of the benefits they've spent years contributing toward. This video was created for educational purposes to help explain how Social Security works and highlight some of the lesser-known aspects of the program. If you found this information helpful, continuing to learn about financial planning and retirement strategies can be a valuable step toward building a more secure future.